see. Now
yeah,
it works.
it'll work with that unplugged. So
is it just audio instead of video?
no, you'll have video and audio, but the audio, this normally magnifies it to where you can hear better. So your audience is not going to be able to hear very well. It's going to be like the city council meeting was the other night when you were trying to listen to it, George. Yes, I'm going to record it. So
Leave it out.
Commissioner Wes Whitmore. Commissioner Missy Mudd. Here. Chairman Mark Buckles.
Present. We have a forum, also mentioned council, David Hickory is here, payroll administrator, and our staff member here as well. Yeah, and then it's run, you should have a copy of these via email late last week, hopefully you had a chance to review. And I've got one small thing on the David Hickory score, let's change that to score instead of sworn in,
Okay.
capitalize that, yes. Don't change the I saw that just cosmetic. Anybody have anything else that needs correction? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve when you're ready.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Approve. Second. Wes Whitmore, one second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. If you are a visitor at our meeting and you have not signed up, and signed in, we need you to do that. Three reasons I think everyone has. I just want to make sure that anyone who speaks is documented. Okay, I need a motion to suspend our regular meeting and open the public hearing. So, Wes Whitmore makes a motion to open the public hearing. Ken will second. All in favor, say aye. All right, RZ 23-116, our first three public hearings tonight. I do want to tell you a little bit about the public hearings before we have the abstract read. This is a public hearing inside a public meeting. Hearings are only for the purposes of receiving evidence and taking testimony from the public. No action is taken inside the public hearing. The hearing is a judicial process, so it includes actual sworn testimony. We will begin by accepting testimony from the applicant, followed by anyone in support of the application. This will hear from anyone in opposition to the application, following the opposition to the applicant may offer proposals to oppose the testimony. All your comments and testimony are to be directed to the commission and the chair. Do not address anyone else in the meeting room other than the commissioner, planning staff, or council. Your time for testimony may be limited based on the number of people present to testify. Once all testimony is heard, the public hearing will be closed, and public comment will no longer be accepted unless as a result of a direct question from the commission. Most often, the commission takes action the same day as the hearing, but under provisions provided by KRS 100, we may take action on a request depending upon the volume of evidence to consider. All right, so there is a preamble for the first of three public hearings. Will be reading the abstract on the first.
RZ 23-116. Owner Steve Ashley, applicant same. Location is southwest intersection of Grayson Springs Road and William Thompson Byway, Leitchfield, Kentucky 42754. The request is change current zone R2 single family medium density to C1 highway commercial.
They can use your visitors for Steve, Sam, and
Steve, would you raise your hand, please? I would swear all of you at the same time. Be okay. Do you swear to the testimony you give to be true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Steve, you come over and speak on behalf of the application, or you use the application and else, whichever you prefer.
I mean, you change your notes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is it seeing what you're in opposition to the map amendment? All right. I need a motion to close the public hearing on RZ 23-116.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Tim votes, next motion closes the public hearing. April with the second. All in favor, say aye. Okay. All right. Before any amendment is granted, planning commission must find that the map amendment is is in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan, or in the absence of such finding, that one or more of the following apply, and that's that the existing zoning classification be given to properties, given appropriate, and that the proposed zoning classification is appropriate, or that there are major changes of an economic, physical, or social nature within the area involved, which were not anticipated in the adopted comprehensive plan, and which has substantially altered the basic character of the area. Tyler, you have a recommendation on this one?
I recommend that with the change to the area by the bypass being put in, this property directly fronts on the bypass, that this does qualify for a zone map amendment to commercial.
Good. Questions, comments, discussion, on the petition?
What is it, Tyler, how does it look on the comprehensive plan? Does it fit what we proposed there?
Future land use map is a direct overlay of the current zoning, but with that being put in place before the bypass was established, and I think that that's the route we need to go with.
Most of the bypass has already been rezoned, at least a good portion of it.
Yes, of course, the phase two, when it was put in, it was done a 300-foot strip on each side was automatically put in for commercial. This first phase, which affects this property, was not done that way. But there's been several other properties along that entire span that has been rezoned.
Hey, I know we won't have entrance off the bypass, but will it come off Grayson Street Road then?
Yeah, but that's the only part that he can come in as of right now.
Yeah.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, if someone is ready to make a motion one way or another, make sure you got your findings of fact for your motion. I'll entertain when someone's ready.
Mark, I make a motion that the existing zoning classification given to the property is inappropriate and that the proposed zoning classification is correct.
Did you vote up with the motion? Mrs. Webb with the second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The map amendment request is approved by the Leitchfield Plan Commission, so our recommendation is a recommendation to the Leitchfield City Council. They can change the ordinance in the city, but that is our recommendation, and they will take this up at the next meeting. I suppose that's on Monday night. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing on RZ 23-117? Can I place a motion to a second? Mrs. Hudson, the second. All in favor, please say aye.
RZ 23-117, owner Sammy Joe Strickland, applicant same. Location approximately 350 degrees west on the Watkins Woods Lane and Patty's Place intersection, Leitchfield, Kentucky, 42754. Request is to change current zone R5 multifamily to R2 single family medium density.
I will skip reading it because we just read it for previous one. If anybody's confused, let us know. But this will be an opportunity for anyone to speak on behalf of the map amendment request. Sammy, you can speak on behalf of it, or you can let the application stand for itself. Okay. Anyone in opposition? Not hearing anyone, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing on RZ 23-117. George with the motion, Missy with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Public hearing is closed on 117. Tyler, you have a staff recommendation for us here?
After looking at this property, everything surrounding it is zoned R5 at the adoption of planning and zoning. There was already single-family residences within proximity to this property that was also zoned as R5. So it seems like maybe it was zoned inappropriately at the time for what was built on these properties. So that would be my recommendation, is to rezone this in R2. I have an understanding that this will not affect the other properties, but going forward, it may be something we can look into.
Okay, questions from the commission, for the applicant, or for staff for discussion?
Sammy, is this in your name? Have you got a deed for this right now?
It's, Don's working on it now.
Can we rezone something that's not actually hers? It's in her name?
Technically, the owner of the property will need to sign the application along with her, and they have not done so, so I didn't realize that she didn't have a deed either, so it's a good question.
Well, we actually run into this in the past, and we had to table it because of that reason.
You can take it next time, she'll need to get her deed. I guess you can give her indications that you do.
I don't have an issue with this.
Yeah, we can't rezone, we can't make that change on something that someone has owned like today.
One question, just for future use, when the bypass comes in, and I'm asking for you too, when the bypass does come in through there, the Watkins Woods Drive will actually separate that lot and the bypass, correct?
It does.
Okay, I figured.
So does Watkins Wood Drive become the bypass?
No, it's just rerouted.
You should go to the east of it, right?
Yeah.
Bypass,
The bypass
east of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every year I just have to redo it.
They're actually going to reroute a portion of that. road.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna rezone something, and you'd have little kids running around the bypass right there. Yeah.
My understanding that the existing buildings off Watkins Woods and Patty's Place and all that will still be there when the bypass goes through. This will be well on the opposite side of those structures.
Because it's coming in where Guns Auto was taking out.
Yes.
All the family structures will be on the other side of the bypass.
Most often, you zone something in multifamily, you're worried about a density issue. In this case, you're actually going the opposite direction of a density issue. So that's the one thing that typically what you try and guard against is from a 2 to a 5, more than a 5 to a 2. So it's not that often that we get these types of requests, but it's based on whatever, I think you get it. Your options are you can approve it, you can choose not to recommend it, but both those things are problematic. I think there are no options to take it. Until proof of ownership can be obtained, and the tabling matter means that the applicant doesn't have to start from scratch. So I think if you vote to table it, that gives 30 days option to get that stuff taken care of, and then you can resume this in your June meeting. That's probably an option. Does that give you any motion? One more motion, someone wants to make?
That's, I was given the direction for me to sign it.
Right.
I mean, that's fine, I can get it taken care of. Don may actually have it done, I just don't have the document.
So he hasn't give you an indication whether or not, you don't know when he would have it done if he hadn't.
The last deed, he had it done fairly quickly, so I don't see an issue with him having it done in 30 days.
Okay.
And I guess as a commission, you also have the option, if you don't have paperwork that you need or the proof of ownership, the way that it needs to line up, I mean, you can get it tabled for, it's not, you're not limited to 30 days. I don't think you can perpetually leave the table, but I don't think you're required to lock yourself into 30 days. But this keeps their creating additional fees, applications, processes. So I do think that. I think why the tabling is happening needs to be in the motion. And so if discussion is complete, then somebody can make that motion.
I'll make a motion to table this.
Would a recorded plat with deed book page number be?
That would still not put it in her name. We're reselling somebody else's property.
Has it been reported on PBA?
It has been recorded. You recorded that?
The plat's recorded, but I don't know if we've got a deed for it. But it's got, underneath the owner certification, it's got the prior deed booking page, and then it's got another deed booking page.
If you see, ask a question, Mark, I was always under the impression, of course, that if you went up and down, your property really didn't have to be business on it, it's all not true. Is that?
That's not true. We actually brought that up in a couple of meetings.
I mean,
We used, I mean, it was commonly, I thought the same thing for a little while. And I think I talked to maybe Mark and when this came up, and I know I talked to Tyler about it based on whether it really was required. And everybody was in agreement after we discussed it that it was required.
Well, and that has more to do with the planning process than it does the zoning process, because when you're making long-range plans on what your community needs to look like in 20 to 30 years, you need a combination of multifamily and single family. Those things need to blend well together. So typically you're guarding against over-dense use, but in this case, again, but it still does have to be approved because it either is it's with the comprehensive plan or it's against the comprehensive plan. So those things have to match up based on your changes.
Who was the deed previously in?
William Wortham, MMA Wortham is on
I
there
was
too.
going to ask,
It's
yeah.
not-
That's
Yeah.
referencing her.
I think
It's not.
they split, it's not yet.
I just looked this deed up, it's not.
It's not showing on the PDA site that it's been switched. It's still showing her.
Well,
Which they're
about 3 months behind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're gonna be behind, but I was just curious.
Is that our only option, David?
Yes.
Which time St. George Strickland has the ownership of the library.
Okay. I have a motion to table RD 23-117. Do I have a second? George with a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that'll be tabled, and we'll hopefully resolve that at our next meeting coming up in June, or whenever those problems get resolved. Okay, I need a motion to open the public hearing for RZ 23, RZ 23-118. Motion, anyone? All right, Kendall, this is a public hearing on RZ 23-118. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Missy with the second. All in favor, please say aye. All right, April, would you please read the abstract for RZ 23-118?
23-118, owner, WRECC, applicant is the same. Location, 107 Electric Avenue, Leitchfield, Kentucky, 42754. Request change current zone R1, single family low density to C1, highway commercial.
Thank you. Is there anyone present that wants to speak on behalf of the application? Is there anyone present who wants to speak in opposition to the application? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing on item 23-118? So moved. Tim with the motion, second. Wes with the second. All in favor, please say aye. Okay. Tyler, you have a recommendation, staff recommendation to the commission on 118?
My recommendation is to go ahead and allow for this zone change. Surrounding properties consist of commercial and neighborhood business, as well as agricultural, and then on behind it, there are some R2 and R1 zoning as well. This is at an intersection just off of Elizabethtown Road, and it's an existing electric co-op and 2 vacant lots that they're requesting. I would put under the condition that they do a plat combination of all these properties into one.
discussion, questions for staff, council, discussion amongst yourselves?
I have a question. The street address listed in the application is 131 Flower Lane, but we have a location as 107 Electric. And I think the RECC office is the 107 Electric, right?
They built a new road in there, I think. They built a new road, I think, in there.
So,
It's not shown on this map, I don't know.
so 131 Flower Lane is, that's where I was confused. If you look at their application, that's what they listed as the street address.
And that's actually,
I think the PVA still shows it as Flower Lane. So when you pull it up on the PVA, that's where the Flower Lane comes in.
Flower Lane is Electric Avenue.
Yes,
It's been changed.
yeah, but it hasn't shown the update in the PVA's website yet. So when you pull that property up, their mailing address, or the physical address still says Flower Lane. There's an insert showing that property, and it says Flower Lane on there still.
Yeah, I think Flower Lane is still showing Electric Avenue. It's on the map, it's showing Flower Lane as well.
But that's a, did the city council change the name of that street?
I have no
Yes,
idea.
they did.
Heather says yes. Okay.
But since we use records of PVA, I use what they have.
Right. Maybe they'll get caught up somewhere. Okay, we'll wait for a motion one way or another until someone's ready.
I have a question for you now. Is public utilities not exempt from government?
This one's not, the water district is because it's a government entity. The water is, that's not.
Okay, so it's not classified.
No, it's not. No.
I'll make a motion that we do rezone the RECC property based on the existing zoning classification given the property which is inappropriate for the zoning classification.
So put a contingent.
Contingent on a combination of that, all the parcels to create one lot.
You got that, Heather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's the motion.
I'll say.
Wes Whitmore with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that recommendation will be sent along to the Leitchfield City Council for them to take up at their next meeting. All right. Old and unfinished business. Tyler, you have anything for us?
No.
Any new business, Tyler?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing under new business, I've got a sheet here to do a proposed, I have a proposal for a special call meeting to be held on Wednesday, May the 24th at 5 p.m. And I will need everyone to sign saying that you know about it and if that's good with everybody. It's got the agenda on it and that will be only what is discussed during that meeting is what's on the agenda. But we will have it.
5:24 or 5 p.m.
It'll be a public hearing for the proposed sign ordinance amendment and discussions of comprehensive plan.
Tyler, is that the same day as that Hardin County Planning and Zoning meeting about,
It is.
plan?
Yes.
Is there a reason we're doing this rather than a regular meeting?
I will not be able to be here for the next regular scheduled meeting.
Okay.
I'll be out the 24th.
expect to have a quorum. We're gonna have that meeting on May 24th. So Dave, how do we proceed? Just need to advertise that public hearing? Do I just need to announce the meeting as being scheduled as the chair, or how does that get called?
Both ways, you'll go ahead, tonight, you'll go ahead and decide to have the special session, special meeting, that'll be part of the minutes.
Okay.
And you vote on that tonight, and then you'll sign the agreement,
The notice.
notice that he's got to be published.
Did that have to be published because we didn't do it tonight, because I thought we were doing that tonight, is the reason?
I think it's because of the workload,
Okay.
because we anticipated perhaps more workload tonight than what we might be prepared for with the public hearing. Okay, so let the minutes reflect there will be a special call meeting with the Leitchfield Planning Commission May 24th of 23 at 5 p.m. here in Leitchfield City Hall, and all commissioners will be asked to sign off on knowing about that meeting, and I'm sure Tyler will get the public hearing advertised, and we'll be ready for the 24th. What else under new business, Tyler?
All right, so I've been getting some more questions about what can be allowed under an R6 zone, which is our mobile manufactured home park. The quote sled homes are becoming more and more popular, and these obviously are off-site built homes. They're brought in and offloaded. They can be put on piers just like a mobile home. Would we be able to permit those to be set as a mobile home would be with the same qualifications or same requirements rather as a mobile home in an R6 zone? I have talked to the state mobile home inspector. He's seen several of those, but he said he wouldn't be the one to inspect them because they're technically not mobile home, but our local building inspector would be. The question is just whether or not they can be permitted in that zone. Currently, they can be used in R1, R2, R3, but is it something that we want to permit in R6?
Tyler, what's the current workaround for that situation? If an investor or property owner wants to improve that property, has a dilapidated mobile home or an older mobile home, wants to put a stick-built home or one of those small homes, tiny homes, is there a method to do that now?
As of right now, there's no way. They cannot put a stick-built home in an R6. It has to be completely built off-site and brought in. The only difference between a sled home and a mobile home is it doesn't have axles or wheels. You know, they bring it in on a trailer.
The other thing is the mobile homes, the new ones especially, they're regulated quite heavily now with the wiring, and I'm sure all of that has to be up to code before they can be sold.
Right.
And that's the thing that you're looking at in these little, I guess you're talking about these portable buildings. You know, they're just a roof and a wall and a floor.
Well, the sled homes, they go through the exact same building inspection that a stick frame
So
home.
a state building inspector would have to do that and certify them.
Yes.
So the sled homes are delivered how?
They come in on like a roll-off style trailer. And then they would have to pour concrete piers or do like a mortar block pier, set it on that, and then strap it down.
So one of the ways I think that we've always kind of been taught to look at it, mobile versus manufactured, is if the truck that delivers it drives away without anything behind it, it's a mobile home. If the truck that delivers it leaves with a trailer behind it, pulling a trailer that delivers the home is a manufactured home, which is manufactured off-site. So that's the easiest way to delineate between what is and what isn't. So R6 is mobile, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say currently, no, but we probably need to revisit whether it should be.
Which, according to state regulations, anything built after July 1976 is not a mobile home. After after that day, they all became manufactured, and that's when HUD changed the requirements for the walls and the wiring and all that. So there's several homes in the R6 zone that, under that definition, are not mobile homes. But, I mean, this is something, you know, which we do have the exclusive use, but that would only fall under the property owner themselves want to change their property from an R6 to something else. So I don't know that would qualify here, because you're only looking at a single lot that's vacant, that they're wanting to put one of these homes in.
But we need to back up the way this, look at it a little bit more, because I didn't realize this was coming up, but I think it already meets your qualifications around putting in basic moratorium. If you look at the definition we have, I think it does qualify. So we need to look at that pretty carefully. Let's look at it pretty carefully. I think you're wrong. I think it does meet it now. That doesn't meet the state qualifications for a mobile home, but it meets our definition.
So let's study on that. Are there is there a primer or some materials that we can gather from APA or CAPA or something that we can kind of educate ourselves on this a little bit better before we have to make a decision?
I'll be attending the spring conference next week, and can definitely.
This is kind of so staged in the last year, so we
Right.
most areas, I'd say.
And I'm not opposed to it myself, I just want to make sure that, you know, our ordinance will allow it and we're not violating anything. Because a lot of them are pretty nice looking compared to what's out there right now.
Right.
Tyler, do you actually issue a occupation permit, or you don't issue a building permit for one of those type of homes? How do you know that it has passed all the inspections?
Once the state has signed off on it, they've had all their electrical inspection, HVAC, plumbing. I go in and I verify that those have all been,
But you don't actually issue any permit as such, do you?
I issue certificate of occupancy.
Okay, so you have the last.
Yes.
last
So
say.
once all those inspections have passed, I verify that, I verify the location that they sent the home where they said they were going to, and then issue a certificate of occupancy.
I think we need to, further clarify with some definitions, because I've seen a lot of Amish and Mennonite homes that do not have HVAC, no insulation, no wiring, they're just ready to set down. And probably want to delineate.
Well, if they don't have that type of, they wouldn't be able to get a certificate.
Now look at your zoning ordinance in the meantime, and like manufactured housing, and it sets forth some safety qualifications that they have to meet. So we need to pull those from the exactly what they are, but it's in there.
There's a big shift going on in the building industry that, and the way the building practices are changing is going to force us to rethink how we view what we would historically call, and it's not a current term, but a trailer park versus like those aren't going to happen anymore. Right? Those are going away, and the way we see them row after row after row and that type of thing. So we kind of have to. There's a shift going on the way we have to view it, and we have to view it from the lens of what does it look like in 10 and 20 and 30 years, more so than what does it look like today.
And that's something that, as far as looking at the comprehensive plan, I would like to see us do an overlay in our R6 zones to allow for some sort of high density, you know, to take place, whether or not it be a slim home or a sweet home. It's something that we can look at in the future to alleviate some issues that we're having.
It's just, what is handling us from being able to do that now? Is it KRS? Is it our own statutes?
Our own statute doesn't cause us a problem. The only question becomes the safety issues that are cited in there. Looks to me like they may change by virtue of that. I haven't looked those up. Those are federal and state safety issues. What they have to have, I'm not sure what they are exactly. I don't know what's done right here.
I'm just thinking that, an investor has an opportunity to buy a mobile home park that is dilapidated. And if they go in and replace 6 mobile homes with 6 really nice stick-built homes or duplexes, that's an improvement for the city.
Right, but we can't permit that in an R6, they would have to go in with do a, an exclusive use for planned unit development or something like that. Because you can't build a city-built home in an R6, you can't build a 2-family home in an R6, it's still single family.
But they can do that as the exclusive use ordinance. We developed, that's
Yes.
something we encourage, we don't really do that. We
Yes,
just-
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, do they have to be on a chassis or anything?
We don't have any, we don't,
Our ordinance just says it has to be on concrete pad or piers and be strapped down.
Ultimately, you're looking for guidance on how to interpret the zoning ordinance. Yes?
Pretty much, I mean, it's
and also
also,
improvements to it too. And also improvements to it.
right, well, that's for, when we update the comprehensive plan, we'll get into more of that, I'm just wondering if we can, right now, does our ordinance prevent anyone from putting this type of structure?
You know, the comprehensive plan is not the zoning ordinance.
Correct.
So that's something we need to look at. Set. It's pretty broad, what we have. You all look at these things and you'll look at it, but it's something we do need to do some study on.
Focus on the R6 aspects of the zoning ordinance, isn't it?
Right.
And then consider just kind of educate yourself to have a better discussion, be a little more prepared. I think one of the things we're, in Israel, ambiguity is bad. Right? You want clarity of what, where the boundaries are, where the lines are. And so when things are unclear, he needs help on defining them so that he has a confidence to act on the enforcement ordinances. Any other business?
That's all I have.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn. Kenny makes a motion to adjourn, seconds. Ms. Eva, second, all in favor, please say aye.